Schwartz from TroyWins.com. Thank you for tuning in to the Troy Wins Podcast. Hopefully you tuned in last week. Lots and lots of winners. My God, what is going on in Jerry world? We told you guys, listen, I'm one of the biggest Dallas Cowboys fanatics. That line being 7 points. How ridiculous was that? And now you're going to get a repeat this week, Monday Night Football. The Houston Texans coming off their debacle last week against the Detroit Lions, blowing the 23-7 halftime lead. They go into Jerry World Monday Night Football. I know for a fact Raheem Morris and that crew is going to be ready to go. That line already, boy, circle that, throw that in your teasers, throw that in your money line parlays. That looks extremely juicy, guys. Again, a lot of great matchups. If we look back at last weekend, we did an outstanding job. We told you the Baltimore Ravens, loved them in teasers, loved that over. They end up winning a close one, 35-34 against the Bengals. Friday night, we gave you California -7. We get a little lucky on that one. We get a backdoor cover at the end of that game. That was a lot of fun to watch. They beat Wake Forest by 10. Overall, guys, if you're tuning into this show, if you're tuning into Bury Your Bookie, any of the shows that we do, we are giving you guys consistent winning picks each and every week. So I appreciate you guys tuning in once again to the Troy Wins Podcast. Guys, looking to look ahead. Buffalo, Kansas City, Sunday. Boy, Kansas City, we know they have that. We know they have Buffalo's number. How lucky can Kansas City get? I hate to use the word luck. I get it. You got to create your own luck in the NFL, but they block a 35-yard field goal to win a game. They beat the Ravens on a fluky call and Lively catching the ball in the inch line. They barely beat the Falcons on a pass interference call that could have gone either way. They barely beat the Bengals. I've just never seen anything like it. They go into Buffalo. It's going to be a great game. Buffalo's due to get them. They're going to be motivated. I've got that one circled. I like the Bills a lot. And you got the Jets and the Colts. Interesting matchup. Joe Flacco really had a reality check last week. Did not look good whatsoever. Have the Jets throwing in the towel at 3-7. They're -3.5. I've got that one circled though. They're at home. I just don't see Joe Flacco going into New York and getting the job done. Give me Aaron Rodgers over Joe Flacco. I think the Jets are the better team in that game. But that's an interesting matchup, man. What are the Jets going to do from here? That will remain unseen. Have they quit on that current coaching staff? We know it's the inevitable that that whole staff will get fired at the end of the year. But will be interesting to see what the Jets do at 3-7. We got some great college football matchups this weekend. Georgia, Tennessee. Woo! Almost 10-point spread for a Georgia team that's not playing great. A Tennessee team playing pretty damn good football. That's an interesting one, guys. I like teasing that thing up, getting Tennessee up to almost 17 points in a 7-point teaser. Tennessee's a good football team, well coached, well quarterbacked. Georgia just hasn't looked that good this year. They've been up and down. Carson Beck, 1 minute he looks great, 1 minute he looks like a first-round pick. The next minute he looks like a fifth-round pick. So you really don't know what you're getting right now from Carson Beck. But that's an intriguing matchup. Friday night, you've got UCLA, Washington. You guys know I've been all over Washington. We picked our spots. We keep playing the unders with them. We gave you the winner last week with the under in the Penn State Washington game. That thing ended 35-6. Another high total. Washington -3.5. But I love the Huskies at home. This is a blackout game. New uniforms. Will be a sold out crowd. Friday night on Fox. Give me the Huskies -3 against UCLA. That looks really juicy. Huskies have to win that game to get to 6-5 and be bowl eligible. And I think they want that because the following week they got to go at Oregon, which they know is a game that they're probably not going to win. So UCLA, they've got to beat them. Their whole season really depends on getting that game. So, and guys, a lot of good matchups. Indiana, boy, you tip your cap to them. They've been on absolute fire all year long. Did not cover against Michigan. They finally kind of had that reality check. You knew they would have, I wouldn't call it a letdown game, but you knew they weren't going to beat everybody by 20 or 30 points. They showed that they showed against Michigan that they've got some holes. So that'll be interesting. How about Colorado, Utah, Colorado? Colorado a 10-point favorite at home. If Colorado wins out, which could happen, they're going to go to the college football playoff. Love them or hate them, Deion Sanders has been absolutely outstanding for Colorado. I'll be really curious to see if he sticks around there next year or if he's moving on. But man, that's an intriguing matchup that we have. LSU heads into Florida. LSU now 6-3. When's Brian Kelly on the hot seat? I mean, is 7-3, 6-4 type seasons acceptable? They're a 4.5 point favorite going into the swamp. Two guys are probably on the hot seat. Billy Napier, I know they said his job's safe, but is it really? The 4-5 Gators, if they miss a bowl game this year, I can't imagine Billy Napier's job is safe. And then another one I actually like. You guys are gonna, this one's gonna intrigue you guys. San Jose State, 13.5 point underdog at home against Boise State. Buy that up to 14.5. I love Sparty in that one. San Jose State is not a bad football team. They will be ready for that run game of Boise State. 14.5, way too many points. I like San Jose State to cover that in a big, big way. We've got BYU, Kansas. That boy, that's the game to avoid, as Stanford Steve would say. BYU 9-0, guys. BYU 9-0, going up against 3-6 Kansas, and BYU's -3. That's a head scratcher. That's a game to stay away from. Public will be all over BYU. I'm telling you guys, when we talk next week, I would not be shocked if Kansas wins that game outright. That line screams, take Kansas. 3-6 Kansas against 9-0 BYU. The game is being played in Provo, and BYU is -3. Let that sink in, guys. So, great slate coming ahead, guys. Again, check us out, TroyWins.com. Nobody's capping games like our services, guys. Nobody. It's not even close. It's TroyWins.com. Appreciate you guys checking out. Again, 7 days, $7, best bargain in the industry. Appreciate you guys tuning to the podcast. We'll be back with you again later this week.